I'm here in the town of Nová Baňa to take you on what is possibly one of my most favorite hiking trails in Slovakia. The rain has turned into snow. Kinda. The great thing about this trail is that it's got everything. It's got a scenic overlook, it's got a bell tower, it's got like a little restaurant where you can stop and refresh yourself. It's got a place where there's miracles, and the trees are wearing scarves. Wait, hold up, what was that last one? I have many questions. Is this meant to imply that trees can get cold? Do they wear these in the summer? Are we meant to believe that this is the neck of the tree? Will the tree get sick if it doesn't wear a scarf? Do they take these off in summer? How did it put it on? How does it take it off? I don't think anyone's going to be able to give me any useful answers about this. One of the main attractions of this hike is this, Kohutovo, which is a spring. Now that may not sound particularly amazing, but it has a story behind it. In the year 1863, there was a drought in this area. A sheep wandering through the hills dug up a spring with its hoof, and voila, there you go, drought solved. Moreover, people started to notice that this water had healing effects, and they started to see different visions. So this place was declared a miracle. Even if you're not one to believe in miracles, this is still a great place to come by and have a drink of water to refresh yourself. Depending on how strong your beliefs are and its curative properties, you might want to bring your own cup. There's still a pandemic going on. The last thing we'll check in the area of Kohutovo is this. It says pilgrimage place. Because that's what this is. People do come here to have their religious experience, to drink from the miracle waters. But more importantly, I'd like to point out its shape and the stone it's made of. It's a millstone, and I'll explain more about that in a bit. One of the other interesting features near the area of the spring and the church that they built near it is this giant sequoia. Not native to Slovakia, but planted here as a special tree. And I'd like to point out, oddly enough, being a special tree, it's not wearing a scarf. That brings us to our next feature, which is this bell tower right here. In a compliment to the miracle waters of Kohutovo, during the First World War, the Marian Society built this bell tower. Its bells could ring so that the people of Nová Baňa could hear it. It's also over here, just behind me, that they have the little restaurant where you can stop and refresh yourself. The final part of this journey requires a strong will and strong legs, because now we have to climb a mountain. It's not snowing anymore. After a substantial hike, you'll arrive at what is possibly the best part, the scenic overlook. At the top of the mountain, they built this tower. Great for having a broad view over Nová Baňa. I suppose it would be anyway if it wasn't a snowstorm, which I've climbed up in. Yeah. If you come up here at a time when there's not actually a snowstorm, it's a pretty stunning view. For now, you're just gonna have to take my word for it, because I came up here in a snowstorm. Another thing that makes the area above Nová Baňa so interesting is the presence of this stone right here. This is rhyolite, and it's used as millstone. Up until the First World War, this was a strategic resource. This was how you made your food. It's not such a big deal anymore with modern technology, as we can grind flour many other different ways. But at the time, this was the best they had. The tower up here on the mountain is actually made of rhyolite. Not being needed for millstones anymore, it's actually a pretty cheap and easy building material. I'm just noticing that over here, the trees have scarves as well. There's also scarves on the trees here. I'm not sure why this tree needs a scarf. It seems to be, geez, there's more of them. If someone can give me a good explanation as to why a tree would need a scarf, put it in the comments. I don't know. This was originally supposed to be the place where they were going to put the bell tower that we saw earlier, but given that it's so far from the town, no one could hear the bell. So as a compromise, we have the tower up here and the bell down in a valley below. The great thing about the trail here is that it goes in one big loop, so you can see all three sites no matter which direction you take. It's also particularly good if you want to loop back to the restaurant and have a drink to ease your sore muscles. And that's exactly what I've done. If you'd like to see the bell tower, the miracle spring, and the overlook in Nová Baňa, and puzzle as to why the trees are wearing scarves, well, don't come during a blizzard. But first you'll have to come to Slovakia. It's full of interesting stuff. One of the other interesting features in the area around the spring and the church that they built it, that makes no sense.